Let go of worry, anxiety, and concerns of the day as you welcome the beautiful transitional time between wakefulness and sleep with a bedtime story for grown-ups. Fall asleep fast with this calm sleep story and meditation, The Lighthouse Inn. Immerse yourself in cozy vibes as you travel to a historic lighthouse for a getaway. Swing in a hammock overlooking the lapping waves at sunset. You then climb the lighthouse tower to look out on a starry sky and super moon that casts the ocean in opal light. There's a story to be found in every nook and cranny of the lighthouse. These tales warm your heart as you return to your suite and fall asleep. It's time to dream away. I would like to welcome you to Michelle's Sanctuary. I am Michelle, and as you listen, think of my voice as the voice of an encouraging friend and ally. I am here to remind you that you are a creative soul with the power to travel anywhere with your imagination. The graceful pathway between your waking life and dreaming life should be lined with beautiful moments that make you feel safe, loved, and tended to. This is your journey, so feel free to modify as we proceed to what feels best to you. Trust yourself infinitely and let go of my voice and drift to sleep whenever it feels right. Comfort and peace wash over you like lapping ocean waves in August. Feel the tide of tranquility flow over you from head to toe and toe to head. These waves radiate at a temperature that feels best to you. Perhaps warm, lukewarm, or cool. You decide what works as we enjoy a short guided meditation. And as these waves continue to wash over you, coming in and going out, focus on your breath and let out the biggest sigh you have let out in a long time. With this breath, you say to the world, "This day is done and I am ready to unwind." Inhale through your nose, sipping in fresh, healing air. Imagine it smells like the sweet, briny air of a seaside village. Open your mouth and yawn, and let your body know you are very tired and ready for rest. And then sigh, surrender, let go. Sip in the night air in a big inhalation when you are ready. Fill your abdomen like an inflatable beach float. You could float and bob with the tide with ease. When you are ready, yawn, then sigh. Expel every last bit of air until your belly and your chest collapse. And enjoy one more round of conscious breathing as you thank your body for all the things it does right, so you may enjoy this sacred time before sleep. Return your breath to its normal rhythm and follow my voice as your imagination welcomes a journey to a lighthouse. It's time for the story to begin. Rolf Wandervind wrote, "An awake heart is like a lighthouse, helping others to find a safe way home." How often in this life have you longed to feel safe in an uncertain world? Or have you been a light keeper, inspired to offer safety to others? Perhaps in an ideal life, you get to experience both. Long ago, lighthouse keepers sacrificed all tenets of normalcy for the sake of spreading light into a dark, uncertain world. Weather was far more difficult to predict centuries ago. Weary travelers became awash with hope and a sense of safety as these beacons of light pierced through the darkness with the promise of a nearby coast where they may find rest. In 1989, all lighthouses in the United States became automated, save for the Boston Light, which was required by law to be manned at all times. And as traditions of lighthouse keepers were no longer required, auctions took place, and lighthouses were sold to souls drawn to the allure and history of these charming dwellings. A woman by the name of Maribel heard stories as a child about her ancestors who maintained a lighthouse off the coast of New England. She dreamt of one day residing in a lighthouse. It was so clear in her dreams as a child that she was not surprised one bit when a listing appeared on her computer screen a decade ago for a retired lighthouse on a rocky peninsula off the shores of Maine. The ivory tower of the lighthouse was surrounded by a historic stone cottage that offered 5-bedroom suites that would make the perfect setting for a bed and breakfast. The structure was built in 1835 with a 45-foot tower that had a 22-foot diameter. The lighthouse tower came first, and a newly married couple tended to it day and night. And in between building a family and keeping the light shining for hundreds of seafarers, they built a surrounding cottage that welcomed souls from all walks of life. It became a place of refuge and hope, particularly for those in transition. Maribel read historical documents about the lighthouse and took on a mission to create a charming bed and breakfast that resurrected the lighthouse as the beloved haven it was always meant to be. You arrive at the peninsula after a long journey by train that began before sunrise. As you walk on a footbridge that at low tide offers a shortcut to the lighthouse, your muscles still feel as if they are vibrating from the gentle rocking of the train trip. The sun bathes you in golden light. It would feel hot but for the cool mist from the ocean that offers a gracious reprieve. You taste the tiny droplets of the Atlantic on your lips. You stop for a moment in the center of the footbridge and smile. Surrounded by sapphire waves with lacy white crests beneath a brilliant blue sky with feathery ivory clouds. Take a moment to appreciate the gift of travel. With one train ticket, the world around you can dramatically change in less than a day. It feels good to be in a new environment. The sounds of the surf are like welcoming whispers that encourage you to stay. You are not the first to be invited by this magical place to stay for a while. Something in your gut just feels right, that all things lined up for this trip to take place. You readjust your weekender bag on your opposite shoulder. The weight of it reminds you of your strength as you reach the other side of the bridge. You arrive at a stone path lined by cultivated rows of purple heather. The ocean breeze rustles the lush yet hardy blossoms and creates a hushing sound that soothes you deeply. It offers the same nurturing powers of a mother soothing her child before a nap. And while there may be times in your daily life that you question yourself, the world, and others, this moment makes you believe that everything is okay, that all will be okay. There is beauty everywhere, and all around you nature thrives. You continue to walk on the stone path and arrive at the base of the lighthouse tower. You cannot suppress the smile that forms on your lips, nor would you want to. It is a smile of elation as you look up at the gleaming white stone. You shield your eyes from the sun as you focus on the black metal facade of the lantern room. A vision flashes before you of the first couple, and you imagined how proud they must have been to tend to the light each night. You hear Maribel's sweet voice before seeing her come down the stairs of the wraparound porch of the stone cottage. I had a feeling you were about to arrive. Your room is ready. You turn to notice the laugh lines and crinkles around her eyes that form on her sun-kissed skin. This is a woman who has smiled warmly and often, and something about her makes you feel safe and at home. Maribel offers to help with your bag. In fact, she insists, and you let her carry it as she guides you around the porch to the other side of the stone cottage. She leads you to a private entrance to your suite that overlooks a sea wharf in the village. Quaint beach cottages in hues of scarlet red, navy blue, and buttermilk scatter the wharf and have small docks where people sunbathe and jump into the brisk water. You count at least 3 or 4 sailboats gracefully gliding atop the glittering deep blue waves. The view never gets old, no matter the season, Maribel expresses, as if reading your mind. The beauty that surrounds you is the kind that inspires artists to pick up their brushes and dip them into oil paint in saturated hues to capture this beauty. Maribel guides you to a navy blue door with a white crescent moon above a sign that reads, "The Crescent Suite." Like sailors, all the owners and residents of the lighthouse throughout time have maintained the same reverence for Mother Nature, for the winds and the tides, for the moons and the weather patterns. On this jagged peninsula, human vulnerability creates humility and respect and a deep appreciation for the ever-changing environment. Maribel says the waning crescent moon symbolizes protection from negativity in some cultures and offers a chance for letting go. She tells you that the Lighthouse Inn is a healing place to let go of things that weigh you down and hold you back. The door opens into the charming suite with cathedral ceilings. Wooden ceiling fan blades propel through the air like water wheels and spread the perfume of summer flowers kept in antique vases throughout the suite. The rooms offer a perfect mix of historic and modern, of items weathered by time and items freshly picked. Maribel recreated the Lighthouse Inn by preserving timeless elements and making way for modern conveniences. A bay window looks out onto the ocean. A plush cream linen couch with nautical-themed throw pillows is directly across from a stone fireplace. You imagine wintry nights on the peninsula being warmed by the fire. Poster-sized black and white prints depict the lighthouse through different seasons in a way that personifies the dwelling. Looking at the images, you feel as if you know her, that this lighthouse must have a name. You ask Maribel if it ever did. She's taken aback at first, as if no one has ever asked this question before. She says she named the lighthouse herself and refers to her as Clara after her great-grandmother, because something about this place brings clarity. Standing in the heart of the suite, the energy of the Lighthouse Inn pervades the air and offers a sense of endurance, strength, and peace. Maribel leads you to a small kitchenette where you discover a pitcher of fresh lemonade, fashioned in a way you most enjoy, with fresh raspberries from the garden. Maribel insists that you call at any point that you need something. And before she leaves, she invites you to climb the lighthouse tower if you wish, to see the night's supermoon. You thank her, and once she leaves you to settle into your room, you tuck away your clothes into cedar wood drawers that contain lavender satchels. You wash away a day of travel by cleansing your hands and face with handmade soap shaped like a mermaid that smells like creme brulee. You catch a reflection and your eyes are peaceful, yet sparkle to show your inner beacon of light. It takes one being or object to shine for the sparks to be ignited in others. It is a world of reflections. With a crystal glass of lemonade in your hand, you step outside and notice a hammock beneath an oak tree, overlooking the water. The tree is as old as the lighthouse. Sunlight hits the crystal glass and creates tiny rainbows on the green grass as you walk towards the hammock. You settle into the off-white mesh rope of the hammock so that your feet remain connected to the earth. You sip on the lemonade as you gently swing back and forth and acclimate to this new location. Everything about this late day experience has a softness to it. You focus on the waves crashing against the rocky shore. After finishing your drink, you set the glass on a table and climb deeper into the hammock and close your eyes as the net wraps around you like a cocoon. The sun lowers towards the horizon of the village, and you feel the amber light pour over your body. You inhale the smells of summer, the salty, sweet perfume of the Atlantic, of wild strawberries, fresh grass, honeysuckle, and sea-sprayed rocks. You continue to swing back and forth, getting lost in the moment of this perfect summer moment. The crickets and frogs begin to sing out. And when you come out of a lucid dream, you look up to see the sky as ablaze with ribbons of magenta, fiery orange, gold, and lavender. You catch the sun as it dips beyond the village of historic cottages and elegant homes with widow walks. You think of the joy that seafarers must have felt when coming home to their families, knowing that for some wandering souls, the call to join the sea has as much a pull as the love of family and friends. You rise out of the hammock as fireflies illuminate tall blades of minty green American seagrass. The wind has changed direction, and wind chimes strung around the porch add a new melody to the chirping of crickets, the songs of cicadas, and the soft ocean breeze. The temperature drops with twilight's arrival, and the air becomes damp with a coolness that is perfect for sleeping. You let out a sigh as you rise and walk across the dewy grass. The blades brush against your bare shins and calves as your feet connect to the solid earth. You raise your arms overhead and stretch as you make your way toward a small beach. Even in the hottest month of summer, The water remains chilly as it reaches your toes. Your feet sink into the damp sand and tiny rocks. The suction grips the soles of your feet, and you surrender to the feeling as you sink deeper and deeper until the sand rises above your ankles. A seagull flies overhead before diving into the ocean for its nighttime feast. You feel more in harmony with yourself and the environment around you than you have felt in a long time, and with a deep sense of satisfaction and inner peace, you sense the tiredness of this long day of travel will bring you to an early slumber. The supermoon rises over the Atlantic in synchronous timing with the lighthouse turning on and shining a beacon of light into the night sky. The metallic blue sea reflects the light. Do you think again about this world and universe of reflections? The full moon casts you in a pearly glow as you walk around the cottage toward the lighthouse tower. This magical light makes this experience feel like a dream, beyond any beauty you recall experiencing in your waking life. You feel as though you are floating rather than walking. Your limbs are light. Your breathing is relaxed. An oil lantern hangs outside the door of the lighthouse tower. The flame flickers and casts dancing shadows on the pathway to the entrance. You place your hand on the cast iron doorknob and open it into a dimly lit library. A spiral staircase rises out of the heart of the library that contains old maps and first editions of many famous nautical tales. Perhaps you will explore more in the morning, but for now you ascend the stairs to the viewing deck of the lighthouse. One by one you climb, with your fingers loosely grasping the cool metal banister. You reach the top of the tower and see the moon pouring light over the sea, surrounded by glass window panes. You feel as if you are inside an hourglass. You press open one of the tall windows and step out onto a metal platform. You grip the sturdy railing as the breeze sweeps across your face and scalp. The moon reflects the sun onto the dark ocean waters that become mirrors as well. You stand mesmerized in this world of reflections. With your heart facing the full moon, you get lost in the moment and reflect your hopes and dreams on this mystical orb. And like your dreams, the moon changes throughout time, and you realize that change is natural and it's okay. As you stand in the tower, poised high above the sea, you imagine the lighthouse keepers from centuries past, standing in the same spot to reflect on their lives. You wonder how much they wished for the same as you do right now. You wonder if they were able to enjoy the feeling of the sun and salty air on their skin as you did today. The human experience, no matter what time, is held together by threads of hope, sensory perceptions, and the magical ability to sleep and to dream. You could stand atop this tower watching the moon drift across the sky as the lunar pull changes the tides. You have arrived at a sense of peace and presence, and there is no rush to overthink or accomplish anything. You are happy to simply exist. Your mind is still and quiet as you look at the body of water below, remembering that water accounts for most of your body's composition. Nayyirah Waheed expressed, "If the ocean can calm itself, so can you. We are both salt water mixed with air." You take in a deep breath and feel the saltwater air on your skin. You feel a warmth radiate from your heart center and share it with the night, encouraging it to travel to all the places in the world in need of light, hoping that it may reach the darkest corners until they reflect light as well, as if in suspended animation. The night unfolds in a series of moments. The descent down the stairs makes you feel heavier and more tired with each step. The delightful walk through the moonlit grass with iridescent dewdrops that look like tiny moons orbiting the emerald green blades. The weathered wooden steps that lead to the white porch. The creak of the wooden planks beneath your feet that tell stories as you return to your suite for a night of restoration. Cascading warm water from a rain shower head, washing away the sand from your toes and the salt from your skin. The smell of homemade soap and fresh linens. The softness of your pajamas that you retrieve from the cedar drawers of a bedstand are now perfumed by lavender satchels. You focus on the glow of the moonlight that pours through the skylights and illuminates the four-poster bed like a spotlight. More moments continue. You drift through them like a dream. The feeling of the silk sleeping mask that you place over your head and eyes as you settle into the tall bed. Beneath the heavy patchwork quilt, more soothing moments unfold, with the sound of the ocean crashing against the rocks, the smell of the night air, The feeling of crisp, cool cotton sheets against your skin. The sense of safety you have felt ever since arriving that resonates deep within you ever since you crossed the footbridge to the Lighthouse Inn. This feeling goes beyond words, beyond anything you could articulate, but you trust it as your mind takes the ceremonial journey towards sleep, drifting across the bridge to your dreaming life. You pause on this bridge like you did on the footbridge, reveling in this beautiful and magical in-between moment before you succumb to sleep. The feeling is not unlike the sensation of a wave just before it crests, or the cascading sensation of the tippy top of an inhalation before you sigh. You welcome this release and the hours of peace and respite that await you. The ceiling fans murmur and circulate the air that kisses your skin, comforting you as you fall asleep. You welcome every subtle sensation that brings ease and release as you surrender, as you let go and float away, crossing the bridge to a night of deep, healing slumber, finding peace, finding hope, finding grace, finding sleep. It's time to dream away.